Warning, this podcast contains spoilers.
Why does that match my hair?
His mic's colorblind.
Oh.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the As Seen on TV podcast for Supernatural, Season 11, Episode 18, Hell's Angel. I'm your host, Mike, and joining me...
You're our colorblind host, Mike.
Yeah, because that's a very...
is Kim!
Boy blue.
Joining me is not Kim. Joining me is the still image of Kim's upper forehead and top of her head.
Who's behind Kim?
Not
really, because
aside from all them, it's me looking very angry.
Oh, okay.
And joining me is Dom and Nikki.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
Hi.
Hey.
So, we got a huge mega plot episode on our hands here.
Which was a breath of fresh air.
A big breath of fresh air.
I mean, we weren't ragging on the not plot story driven episodes so much. We were enjoying them, but now that it's back, I'm happy.
Now that it's back, I've realized I've really been missing this. Like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot. Seriously.
I miss full on Misha being Mark Pellegrino.
oh,
He's not even being Lucifer. He is just being Mark.
I miss him going from cast to Lucifer, back and forth.
That was good.
I just missed Mark Pellegrino.
It was nice to see him too. That was great.
Yeah. Alright,
'Cause
so, go
I
ahead.
was just thinking to myself, I was like, this whole storyline with Cass being, Lucifer is brilliant because they just can't afford to get Mark Pellegrino in every episode. And then all of a sudden, Mark Pellegrino just walks out of the kitchen and I'm like, okay.
I'll shut up now. I had a similar thought. I'm
Cass
like,
is fucking with the rabbit ears.
that whole scene was ridiculous, and I loved every bit of it. But we'll get there.
Mhm.
So just to start things off, Rowena's not dead.
Yeah, that was a nice twist.
Who?
That was
One of us called that.
I'm not saying a twist, but I'm sitting there going, what? She's dead. Am I missing something?
Yeah, like that whole scene before they go back and explain how she's still alive. It's like, did we miss an episode?
Right, that's honestly what I was thinking at that point.
Yeah, like, okay, wait a second, you're dead. You're either some hallucination that Amara's having in her post-mega smited state, or the fuck is going on right now? But she's alive because of a spell she kept implanted in her calf.
Yeah.
Okay, can I have one of those?
Very handy backup,
Yeah.
thing.
Well, it looked like she cut her leg open, shoved whatever spell it was actually physically in her leg, and then slapped like a Band-Aid on it and let it heal, scar and all.
I'd be okay with that.
It's pretty intense.
Just a bandit. I was trying to figure out what was going on because I was just like, what are you doing?
Like I said, I mean, before the scene where they go back and explain how she was still alive, I didn't know what the hell was going on. I even forgot that Amara got smited at that point because I was just focused on Rowena. Like, why are you here?
What's going on? It hasn't
Why
been a
aren't
while.
you dead?
So she's not dead. And she's helping Amara out, trying to get Amara back in, 100% full tip-top
Do you
shape.
think Lucifer knew that that wouldn't actually kill Rowena?
I don't think so.
You mean that he wasn't going to actually kill Rowena, or that he wasn't actually going to kill Amara with...
No, Rowena. Because he
I
killed her in front of Crowley, and I'm wondering if he knew this whole time that Rowena was going to come back.
I mean, there's a possibility, and he was just doing it to, intimidate Crowley a little bit because, even though Crowley and Rowena are still kind of at each other's throats, at the end there, they were kind of bonding. Just a teensy bit. Just a teensy bit, and even that teensy bit is enough.
Mm-hmm. It's possible. So yeah, beginning of this episode, Lucifer goes to heaven. We just see an angel scanning the doors in their nice little, like, Matrix Reloaded hallway that they made heaven into now.
Legit was Matrix Reloaded hallways.
Yeah.
Exactly. And he's just, scanning them, making sure everything's A-okay. Turns, is like, so Lucifer's standing right in front of me. What do I do?
Heaven's most hated in heaven's most wanted's body.
You know what? I would have given him a handshake and a pat on the back and be like, nice to see you, brother, and been like, let's go. Instead, he's like, oh, I'm gonna, be a bitch, and then he's dusted. I guess I'm smarter than that guy.
Well,
Me and Lucifer would just be like best friends. We'd go out for lunch and go to the playground and sit on the teeter totter and maybe push each other on the swings and
mm-hmm. So, the whole thing is he's trying to convince all the angels, make me your leader. You need me. You mustered all the power of heaven and failed.
He was really convincing.
It's
so much so that, he did get into their conference room and they were like, yeah, okay. Nodding like, oh God, she just threw something at us, and he didn't even flinch, really. He just laughed it off.
Yeah, that had to scare the crap out of every single angel up there. It's like, okay, she just screamed from Earth and, blacked out all the hallways here.
Mm-hmm.
That's, yeah. But she's pissed, rightfully so. She had a giant golden lightning bolt strike her. I think anybody who survived that would be pissed.
Or they'd be the Flash.
Or they'd be the Flash.
Mm-hmm.
CW has a thing with golden lightning bolts from the sky. They really do. Before all this happens, we get Crowley. He finds the Horn of Joshua. Someone he apparently made a deal with is found it in the middle of the desert. And I guess we could infer that his deal was he wants to be the Indiana Jones of this world or something. Because he found all the things. But, and Crowley's making a deal, like, I'm going to give it to you. Just to, that sounded so wrong. But he's just going to give the horn over to Sam and Dean. And, I guess rightfully so, they don't trust him.
Yeah.
Just gonna give it to him.
Just going to give it to him. I just made so many fanfic writers so happy.
B, how come you haven't wrote any fanfic for Supernatural?
Well, right now I'm frozen apparently.
It's okay.
But you can hear me? My audio is fine. My camera's.
Your audio's fine. You're just a frozen, indifferent face. Like,
Oh, awesome.
It's fine.
I am behind in all my fan fiction writing, so.
You better get on that.
I just gave you material.
B, what would you be writing fan fiction about for Supernatural right now?
I don't know.
Are you a Destiel shipper?
Or are you more into the Wincest?
Oh.
That's either, really.
She's back!
She's moving again.
For about 2 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not really into either of those, so I don't know.
So I'm finding... Go ahead.
I ship Donna and Jody Mills, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The sheriffs.
The sheriffs. Not because they're, girl and girl. It's because they're just being together would be an awesome side plot. Like, even a spin-off would be amazing with those two.
I ship Mark Pellegrino and Sam. Not Lucifer and Sam, Mark Pellegrino and Sam.
Oh,
And Dean and the Trickster.
Yes.
That-
There's a
what?
bromance for the
I
ages.
don't even know what's going on anyway.
well, I
So-
mean, it kind of makes sense, Gabriel loves the, sweets. They could eat pie together. It'd be so cute.
I'm just going to reel this right back onto topic here. What I was going to say about a minute ago was I'm having...
I'm gonna go to Mara and Dean. That's
Really?
sorry.
That already is a thing. We don't need to ship that.
Be high five. Over here.
She's frozen again.
Yeah.
Vengeance. Anyway, what I was going to say is that I'm having issues talking about the first half of this episode because the second half of the episode completely overshadowed it for me.
We have a chipmunk.
I don't know what's going on. I apologize. I don't know what the hell's happening.
Okay, can you repeat yourself? Because
What
I
I've
missed
been
it 'cause I
trying
heard
to
chipmunk.
what I've been trying to say for
Wait, I
literally.
just had an epiphany.
All right, I'm done.
Oh.
Moving on. Fuck that point.
The second half of the episode completely over
Shadowed the first half
Yeah.
for me,
I
and
don't
the second
know,
half.
I thought it was all good. I thought it was all good.
Oh, it was all good, but the second half for me was better than the first half. I didn't say the first half was bad.
I want to see more of Crowley running away from hell.
Everything.
Like Mission Impossible. I want somebody to go back and like dub Crowley like running through the streets like to the Mission Impossible theme.
Dun, dun,
What do you mean?
dun, dun.
The blinking. Oh, the blinking.
Da-da-da. Blinks up the stairs. Da-da-da. Blinks out of the building.
Da-da-da.
Da-da. And it's just gone.
Oh goodness.
Do the Scooby-Doo theme, too.
You could.
I'm just amazed at
Even better.
how quick the Winchesters teamed up with not Amara, Jesus Christ, with Rowena
Mm-hmm.
and Crowley just to capture Lucifer and get him the fuck out of Cass.
Oh, I got it.
You got it.
Rowena and Lucifer.
There you go.
Fanfiction.
What and what?
Done.
Rena and Lucifer fanfic. That's what she wants.
I mean, that was, a thing before he snapped Rowena's neck and made
Really
her
wasn't.
angry.
Wasn't-
I mean, you could ship them and it's just angry all the dang time. So it's just,
Angry sex.
I'm exactly. I wasn't going to say it. You can say it.
Yeah. The best part of that whole everything was when Crowley was just like, "Oh fuck this," and like smoked out. And I'm like, "Really, Crowley? You're running? It hasn't even gone south yet." Oh,
That's what I thought he was doing. I thought he was getting the hell out of there.
ha 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 ha.
But he risked his life by
Yeah.
going into Cass.
He shoved himself into Cass's vessel, and the vessel's just standing there like limp or whatever. And I'm like, okay, what the hell is going on in there?
Going into Cass.
Yeah, right. So now we have Crowley inside of Castiel.
Fanfiction.
You're welcome. We should really
I
title this
need an
fanfiction.
actual
We are
drink.
collectively 3 years old. All 4 of us are collectively 3 years old.
Our average
To be
age
fair,
is 9 months.
3 years old. A 3-year-old does not think about that kind of stuff. They're thinking about candy and maybe smearing poop on the walls. They're not thinking about.
What 3-year-olds do you interact with? I'm done. Go ahead.
You obviously never interacted with them.
We've killed B.
Collectively, we're like 13.
So, now my question for this whole thing is that actually Cass just chilling out inside of his own vessel, like in the background, like he said, I'm just waiting?
I think so.
Or is that like does Lucifer like, has he fucked with him enough where he's just complacent and sitting there?
He's
As a
watching
poss-
Netflix.
I mean, there's a possibility of both. I mean, he could be like, okay, the darkness needs to be dealt with, and he just sat back and just letting Lucifer do what he has to do. Or Lucifer could have stuck pins in his brain and, made him a
'Cause
freaking puppet.
he seems dazed, almost like he doesn't even know what's real at the moment. Because, I mean, Crowley, the whole time Crowley's talking to him, he's like, Crowley, what are you doing in here? It's like, wait a second, did I just talk to Dean a minute ago? From, like, that moment when Cass, like, reasserted himself in the outside world.
I think what it is, there's really good reception in the kitchen there. So he really just invested in watching Supernatural from season 1. I think like he's just hooked. Like it's a really good story, except for that bug episode. But like he's trying to catch up, and he's just very very invested in the series right now. So he's distracted.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't know what the hell's going on around him.
Come on, Cass, we gotta get out of here before it's already too late. And then Crowley gets the crap beat out of him in the Winchester's kitchen, which is just a construct inside of
Wait,
Castiel's head.
that's the bunker's kitchen, right?
Yes.
It's the bunker's kitchen,
Yeah.
Okay.
See, and as Draven says in chat, that Castiel's just sitting back trying to Netflix and chill.
I mean, he has no one else to chill with, but I mean,
What are you
Lucifer.
talking about?
Lucifer.
Well, I think Lucifer's busy with his own chilling.
So anyway,
That's a whole other kind of fanfiction.
Crowley
Yeah.
gets the crap beat out of him. And then, apparently, this is the weirdest thing I'm going to say, Sam saves him by exercising him.
On a treadmill?
He's those jumping jacks, man.
Exorcising. X-or. Performs an exorcism.
Yes.
Saves Crowley, gets him out. And, the last thing I was expecting was Amara to walk in after all this crap.
Well, Rowena was kind of being her quote-unquote spy, and Rowena's actually playing two sides of the coin.
She is.
And I think Amara figured that out and was like, I'm going to tail her.
Oh, Mara knew it right away. She
Mhm.
could sense her lying immediately. There was, like, you could see it in her face. She's like, I know when you're lying. I don't know why you're lying to me, but whatever.
And I mean, Rowena used a lot of her magic on Amara. It was probably easy for Amara to track her that way.
Well, I think what it was Rowena had full intentions of helping Amara. 100%. And then when she went to spy on Sam and Dean and Crowley to figure out what their plan was like, oh shit, this plan not only is going to work, but it's going to take care of my Lucifer problem, that I'm trying to deal with at the same time. She goes, that's the side I want to be on, and that's why she went running to them.
I mean, Amara and Rowena are still on the same side. It's just that
No, they
Amara
want the
wanted
same.
to do it a different way.
They have the same goal. That doesn't mean they're on the same side.
That's what I mean. Cool.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But, in the end of all that, Amara saves Sam. Like, when she looked at Dean, I'm like, oh my god, she's going to bitch slap Lucifer up and down this whole place. Because
Was that a whole jug of milk I saw go to Beast's mouth? I'm sorry. I
it
saw
was
a
iced
whole
tea.
jug.
It's orange tea.
orange tea.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
The first time I saw her drink it, I thought it was chocolate milk.
Okay.
Okay. I'm sorry. It was just. Okay. Continue.
Anyway. So the hand of God in Lucifer's hands didn't do shit to Amara. Apparently because he's not the chosen one.
I don't even think she's affected by a hand of God in general. That was just a theory.
Well, from what they said, it's because Lucifer wasn't God's chosen. Probably because an angel, like they said, an angel getting kicked out of heaven.
Well, like, I don't disagree with that he's definitely not chosen, but I just don't think a hand of God is what's going to stop her, because God wasn't able to do it by himself. He needed Lucifer's help. He needed Michael's help. Like, there was 3 of them involved in doing this.
Yeah.
So, I don't think the hand of God is enough.
And to be honest, I think he stopped caring. Obviously, he stopped caring because even Lucifer said he doesn't care.
And,
So,
yeah, the whole reason.
why would he take the time to choose somebody to do this?
True.
If he didn't care. I think it's going to bank on Dean because he has this connection with Amara, and to break that, like, alluring kind of sense that she has over him. And he has to not even, I mean, a hand to God would help, but I mean, he has to harness a power that is not his own. and
I mean,
force it back onto her to kill her.
technically, all humans are God's chosen, so it probably has to be used by a human.
Well, technically, we're all God's children, and God only had one son, so in God's eyes, we're just a bunch of little girls.
There you go. Thank you for that. I just,
All right.
I love the closing scene, Lucifer getting tortured, and it seems painful.
I don't know. He looked pretty lit up about it.
Mm-hmm. Like,
Well-
you're the one thing I suspect he still cares about. His favorite son. So, he'll show himself. Wouldn't go holding my breath on that one. And I'm like, that whole scene, I'm like, okay, just pop in. Just have Chuck standing right behind her when they pan the camera over.
Here we go.
Just like, when they pan it over, just have him standing there and be like, all right, sis, let's talk.
I can't wait for that to happen because it's gonna.
We're all gonna Tom's gonna be so pissed off. He's gonna be so pissed off.
But conversely, if Dom's right about this, we're gonna all be so pissed off.
I don't know what pissed
No,
off.
no, you're gonna be pissed off because you're never, ever gonna hear the end of it.
I know.
Yeah.
That's why.
No, you know what? I'm going to accept it, but I'm going to rub it in if I'm right.
Me too.
I'll just call out dead that day.
Okay.
So that's what we're left off with. Lucifer's being tortured. Hopefully, Amara's plan is to get God's attention. Seems nothing else has really worked so far.
You would have thought, with Sam and Dean doing a lot of his dirty work, that he would have came out and said something to them, at least.
Yeah.
Even if it was just like a note on their table or something.
I mean, they did get a direct message from God relayed to them via Joshua, was it? The angel in whatever season that was? 4 or 5? Yeah,
See, I don't think that was a real message.
Neither do I.
I think that was a bluff.
I mean, he said, he just doesn't care. He doesn't see how it's his problem, is what he said. That was it.
Right, and I don't think that was a real. I think that's just because he knows that God hasn't been in heaven for years,
Mm-hmm.
and was just saying that because God hasn't been around.
Yeah.
Right.
He's speaking for God on his behalf because he hasn't cared about them, so...
So, all in all, a very solid episode.
Yeah.
A very, very good episode, actually. I was more, my attention was held more by this episode than many in a while. But unfortunately, we're going to have to wait 3 more weeks until next episode, because we're getting another gap. And I was wondering how they're going to work this, because usually...
They're building another gap?
No, all of the CW shows usually end about the same time, right? But Supernatural is so far ahead right now of all the other ones. Like, we just had episode 15, I believe it was, of the Vampire Diaries and Originals. This was episode 18 of Supernatural. They're a full 3 episodes ahead.
Yeah, they don't all have to end around the same time, but
They don't have to, but they usually
It seems
do.
like a majority of shows are going on break. I think it's just scheduling with holidays and catching up on all different things, in general.
Mm-hmm.
CW's got a lot of shows under their belt.
They do.
Some shows are on break when others aren't, and it's just trying to keep their schedule full, exciting, and interesting. So they're just kind of trying to spread everything out to make it last longer. Because if you have a show that only has 22 episodes, that's what math really quick. That's what 4.5 months.
Yeah.
So then you have the winter break. You factor that in. So you're like, okay, well now it's 5.5 months, and if we take some breaks here, well, that's now 6 months and maybe a couple. Well, now we get this half a year, It's, well over half a year at that point, but it's let's just stretch it as long as we can to keep people around.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. So, what little we have, next episode is called The Chitters. And this is the official synopsis. Even the Winchesters haven't seen anything like this. Find out what new creature needs to be hunted. And that's all I copied, but it's on April 27th.
So a Creature of the Week episode.
And from the thing, from the promo, it looks like it's going to be a funny episode. because like they see a cop and she's like, aliens or like
Oh,
eating
great.
people.
See, I'm hoping now, just by the title, like the chitters, I'm hoping it's somewhat along the line of maybe Jeepers Creepers.
It may be. I mean, when it shows like one of the monsters, it looks like a person that's just a little mutated, but they have like super bright glowing green eyes, like two green flashlights for eyeballs.
See, Jeepers Creepers was one of my favorite monsters, and I'd love to see that integrated because it was like a monster that would scare you. It would like seep into your fear and find out like when it read and smelled the fear off of you, it knew like what body part it wanted from you, and it would consume that body part to regenerate. So if it's like it wants your eyes, it would take you and eat your eyes, and then it would regenerate its own eyes.
They had a similar monster. I think it was in season 2. It was connected to a town that they were giving.
Oh, the Scarecrow, the one I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember the Scarecrow, and I think you connect that because the creeper in Jeepers Creepers actually disguised himself as a scarecrow once.
The creeper in Jeepers Creepers is supposed to be a pagan god.
They never said what
You're thinking of it's in season 1. It's
Highway 66 or something. Route 66,
coincidentally, it's the episode we first are introduced to Meg. But
yeah,
Okay.
the town couples keep disappearing.
Right.
Lost in this town. It's because the town is sacrificing them to this pagan god, so the god will bless them with good crop yields and good fortune and shit like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because it just looks so similar, I guess.
Yeah,
and they were
what it is.
definitely going for that when they made that episode.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
So I'd love to see a creature, maybe not like looking like the creeper, but functions like the creeper.
Yeah.
Hey, we may just get that. Who knows what the hell's happening? But if there's nothing else, that is our show, I believe.
I mean, we got a little crazy, but this episode was really concise, and it was, from start to finish, they knew what they wanted to tell us. They didn't really go from side to side or anything, so.
It was pretty much a plot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
From start to finish.
Yeah, and I realized this episode how much I'd really enjoy Rowena, and I'm glad that, she's still around.
Fergus.
I back from the dead, Fergus. But, I actually, because I like when the show goes off on these side plots and stuff like that. And we've knocked it for so long, but that's how the show started. That's the roots of the show.
Mm-hmm.
And
the show was all side plot for a while.
The entire show was. It had an overarching theme that, they would get to here and there and slowly advance and, whatever. But Monster of the Week is the whole show for the first at least 2.5, 3 seasons.
At least the first 3 seasons.
And, then it was when the Angels and stuff in season 4 started coming around, and, that's when there was more of an actual plot to go on, and they would follow this format. And now we're getting a lot of these side plots, and I enjoy it because it's very much season 1, and season 1, season 2, I think are like the darkest moments of Supernatural. Like, even the episodes themselves were filmed a lot at night, they were literally dark.
Mm-hmm.
And, I like that theme of more of them driving around and hunting things in the day and sitting in the bunker and talking about their feelings. And, don't get me wrong, I get it. I know why it's got to be done. You got to mix things up and change it a bit. But I like the throwback to the roots of the show.
Yeah.
I agree. And on that note, that's our show.
Mm-hmm.
Tom, where can they find you?
Right there, at Phenomenon. PHENOMEDON.
Nikki, where can they find you?
They can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
It's printed across the middle of your shins if you want to point to it. There you go. Kim, how about you?
Also, you can find me on the Twitters at HUFFITY.
Just take it and throw it. She froze.
PUFF.
I heard the rest of it. I heard the PUFFITY.
Yeah, it happened.
She's back. You can find me also on the Twitters at Philodrin.
Did you? Uh, uh,
You can find all of us on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, and YouTube at ASOTV Podcast. You can follow us there for some more podcasts of some of your favorite TV shows. I know you're not frozen. I can see you both breathing. Favorite TV... Follow us at those places. TV shows, games, movies. You know the drill by now if you watch us. Oh. This has been one wild ride roller coaster. Dom, they can't see you anymore.